The adaptogens are going to reduce cortisol. Ashwagandha is a very potent suppressor of cortisol. There's some evidence it can indirectly increase testosterone, but probably through suppression of cortisol, since those are in the same synthesis pathway. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. Because it lowers cortisol, it should probably be taken late day, not early day, because you want cortisol high. Ashwagandha, as a cortisol suppressing adaptogen, probably also should not be taken in high amounts, not low amounts, but in high amounts, meaning 400 to 600 milligrams prior to exercise, because the whole goal of exercise is to trigger the adaptation through a spike in cortisol, or one of the goals. Rhodiola rosea is a very interesting compound because it's an adaptogen in that it greatly reduces perceived effort and allows for greater power output and endurance output, but it does not do that by suppressing cortisol. So 200 milligrams of Rhodiola rosea prior to, say, a resistance training workout, you will notice you have more vigor. You can just go longer and your perceived effort is much lower. And it's kind of striking.
What is it doing?
Now, this is interesting. It's kind of striking how after the workout, you don't feel as depleted. That perhaps the main reason I started taking it is I found I could train harder, but then I suffered quite a lot from a post-exercise dip in energy, especially if I ate a big meal. I no longer experience that if I take Rhodiola rosea and 30 to 60 minutes before a workout. The effects of it last about 4 hours. So what's happening during that workout? It's clearly having an effect on the central nervous system by reducing the total amount of adrenaline that's released, or the efficacy of adrenaline, epinephrine, during high intensity effort or long duration effort. So what this effectively means is in principle, one is able to generate the same amount of effort without the same amount of energy depleting neurochemicals. I mean, epinephrine, norepinephrine help you generate energy, but there's always a trough afterwards, always. And so if you can generate the same amount of physical output in the absence of X amount of adrenaline or norepinephrine, then you're essentially better off. It also seems to catalyze recovery better. I would not take it more often than just before training, however, because there are a few studies showing that the effects of it can kind of taper off if you're taking it all day, every day.
Now, would that be true for, say, ashwagandha? Let's just say someone's taking it before sleep. Would they want to cycle off of that? How would you think about cycling if recommended?
Yeah, low dose of ashwagandha, 25, 50 milligrams a day, taken continuously, no problem. But when people are taking ashwagandha to offset high stress of, mental or physical stuff, or both for a period in life, I would say after about 2 weeks, you want at least 2 weeks off. You really don't want to suppress cortisol chronically, unless there's some clinical reason for that.
Yeah.
Rhodiola rosea is probably the best addition to my physical performance stack that I've added in a long time. And it's really striking. I mean, I think so much so that people could try it, and it really does seem to work the first time and every time for me. If it doesn't work for you the first time, if all other things being equal, you got a decent night's sleep, you're doing everything the same way you normally would, and you take Rhodiola rosea and you don't really notice much of an effect, you might try and increase the dose slightly and give it another go.
And what was the dosage range?
200 milligrams.
200 milligrams.
Yeah, is what I'll take. And I found that to be really striking. Now, I'm not going to take that before like a long Sunday jog or a hike. I mean, I might, but chances are I'm not going to. I'm going to do it before a leg workout. I'm going to do it before a HIIT workout. I'm mainly doing it to make sure that I can train really hard and then go do other things really hard too. Again, as not a competitive athlete, I loathe the experience of training really hard and then feeling like I gave everything to that training session, and therefore I don't have much energy or focus to give to. And I think most people are like that.